Becoming good stewards of information has become ever more important in a society in which information and misinformation can so easily be created, shared, changed, and used to influence our lives. Research may connote images of hours in a library, reading reference books, and taking notes to write a paper. Or perhaps it's teaching kids how to search more effectively online. But it's much more than that, and the tools we use now make it imperative that our students are able to dig through all kinds of texts, which include video, images, websites, and other digital information, and use it to develop new knowledge and support their positions with evidence. Review this component of the tip chart and note how research and information fluency grows beyond using a search engine, following the scientific method, or writing a research paper. When completed well, students use research and information skills to develop their own knowledge and to extend their thinking. You can obtain a complete copy of the tip chart from the link on this page, along with a searchable database of lesson ideas on Henrico 21. Use these questions to review at least one of the linked videos. You'll find a secondary and elementary video that does address this category of the tip chart, at least to some degree. Or you may want to seek out additional videos on Henrico 21. Please note that we're very thankful to the teachers that opened up their classrooms for these videos, but they are real classrooms. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes there are just things we learn from. Just because a video is included, it doesn't mean that it's the only example of how to address the tip chart. They are included here as conversation starters to explore the tip chart and reflect on your own practice. One way to promote research and information fluency is to help students become better researchers by leveraging the tools they will commonly have access to, whether on the job, in their homes, or in their pocket. Their lives are full of gaming, websites, social media, and yes, even print resources. But a critical component of the information in the digital age is how malleable it is. Students not only need to know how to find information, but to determine its authority, to evaluate its value, and then to use it to create and share new knowledge. The Library of Congress offers support and many lessons and materials for reviewing resources, all free. While focusing on understanding primary resources, which is a key activity in social studies classrooms, the advice they give is valuable for verifying the authority and validity of a wide range of information, regardless of the media format. Visit their website for greater detail on strategies under these three key stages, as well as questions to share with students as they evaluate information. Yes, it's easy to create and share information, but just because you can copy it, it doesn't mean you or your students can use it with integrity. So, to parody a well-known story, no, Virginia, there is no such thing as educational use. But it's surprising how many teachers think there is, or that they have unlimited use of copyright-protected materials in their classroom. While that may not be the case, there are a lot of materials you can use, many free, and all copyright-protected materials can be used for some purposes appropriately in your classroom. When Free Isn't Free is a short video that provides some background on considerations for the use of copyright-protected materials in your classroom, as well as some suggestions for finding materials you and your students are free to use. One of the most important takeaways from the video presentation is that because the copyright law can be restrictive and confusing, the Creative Commons movement was born. You and your students should start looking for Creative Commons symbols on the work you use in class. In fact, you and your students should be using these licenses on your own intellectual property. So many students turn to Google or other search engines to find information, including images, but they don't necessarily find images that are approved for use. But Google and other search engines can help them out by selecting the usage rights in their search. Want to know how? Google has many tutorials on how to make searches more effective. One of the best ways to combat plagiarism is to make students more proactive about determining whether they have used someone else's intellectual property, even if they didn't realize it at first. Have students use plagiarism checkers or even have them peer review each other's work with a search engine. It's amazing what they might find. Consider having students turn in their plagiarism checking reports along with their paper and project. Students often waste a lot of time searching the entire internet when we can point them to a trusted resource to speed up the process. There are many trusted resources to use in the classroom. The best place to find these in your school or district may be your librarian or media specialist or even educational technology coaches. Many districts maintain a list of trusted resources. You should know how to find resources trusted by your district and how to get resources added that you find over time. Wikipedia, the popular online encyclopedia, well, at least popular outside of schools, has had staunch opposition from many people, especially educators. But Wikipedia, part of the Wikimedia Foundation, has actually established guidelines for contributors to help distinguish whether the content found on its site is verifiable or not. Content on Wikipedia is reviewed for accuracy, and suggestions are provided for improving information that is not easily verified. It serves as a model for users of the encyclopedia and reminding them to employ their information literacy skills. You can review Wikimedia's guidelines for posting summarized on the page for this learning station. Once you've done that, don't you agree they all sound like guidelines for authors of all ages, don't they? If you haven't already, review the document summarizing a review of literature on additional ideas of what students should be able to do to demonstrate research and information fluency, as well as activities, processes, or strategies you can use in your classroom to help students develop these skills. Consider which strategies you're already using and any that you want to learn more about. You're encouraged to explore some of the ideas in the literature review on your own. If there are terms or strategies that you're not familiar with, how might you find more information? Are there knowledgeable experts in your building or district you can talk with? Do you have PLCs or study groups that might be interested? And don't underestimate the value of a good internet search. Now that you've reviewed some examples, a few strategies, and part of the research background on those strategies, consider what you want to do in your classroom to help students develop research and information fluency skills. Do you want to tweak existing strategies or try something new? Use the tip chart to plan and monitor a lesson activity that promotes research and information fluency. Consider whether you want to design a new lesson or redesign an existing activity.